Hey guys, this is TJ White, creator of Ultimate War Alliance, and today I just wanted to talk about the future plans of Ultimate War Alliance. So the first thing I want to start off with is the Final War series, Final War: The Elite War. We have not forgotten about it. It is still continuing. I know I am extremely far behind on where we were last year. I mean, this time last year I had one, possibly two trailers up. I don't remember when the second one got up, but I know the first one was definitely January 1st of last year it was up. And because I know the season either started or ended in August. I can't remember which one. I think it ended because I think it may have started in June actually. But anyway, getting a little off topic there. Yeah, I'm behind. But we have not forgotten about it. We are still continuing season 3. We are working on it right now. I'm just waiting for character voices from people, and I need to film, but I'm focusing more on another video first, which I will be talking about later. But yeah, it's continuing still. If there was any inclination, I think that's how you say it, from the end of season 2, where Kamad and some elites are just sitting around or hiding in the hangar bay of the human ship, and the General Zach or whatever, I think that was him. He's sitting up on the bridge and he tells the crew that the elites are retreating from Earth and the war is over. And Kamad's sitting there and they focus on his straight face and he goes, "Or so you think." So that was a big throw off. That it's still going. I have 2 more seasons planned out: season 3 and season 4, Final War. So it is still going. Season 3 takes us to it definitely it spans. It's not focused on Earth or whatever. We go to more Halo rings. The story gets progressively more in depth. I believe you see some flashbacks of Spartan Squad Delta, which is, if you haven't noticed yet, a prequel series to Final War. It's basically everything that leads up to Final War during the Halo Wars. Um, but yeah, Final War: The Elite Wars Season 3. Joe is still captured by the elites. Humans, the only reason the humans go after the elites still are because they're trying to find Joe, and they end up finding another Halo ring. And just gonna say, I'm not gonna throw anything major out there, but they also find some long lost friends on the ring. There's gonna be a lot more characters in season 3. Um, Most of them really aren't talking episodes. I'm gonna say that right now. A lot of them, there's not a lot of lines or characters, but most of the characters that are in them are brand new. I mean, of course, Joe, Steven, 275, they're still in it. They're the main characters of the series. Of course, they'd still be in it, but yeah, I was looking at the strips. There's really not that many characters. It's mostly humans and elites. That's what they are. And there's maybe some commanding officers. There's some commanding officers in there, but most of them are just humans and elites, and they're fighting. It's a lot of action this season. A lot of fighting, a lot of battle scenes. So that's what I'm doing all summer. Is just setting up battle scenes. So yeah, just saying this now. If anyone wants to do some battle scenes, send a message to Silent It's Beastly on That's What's Live. My Gamertag will be in the description, because it's not spelled normally. It's spelled in numbers, in case you haven't noticed. Alright, so 4 minutes 17 seconds in, I'm gonna move on to the next topic, which was Spartan Squad Delta. Part 3 is still being scripted. I definitely have changed it. I've made it longer. I believe it's gonna end up being longer than Part 2, which was a half hour or so long. I'm kind of doing what the hell was it? Rise of the Spartans kind of thing, where each part just gets progressively longer and longer until we hit like the 2 hour mark. I don't think I'm gonna hit 2 hour mark though. I don't think I'm gonna be that crazy. I mean, I know one video is gonna hit 2 hours because I'm planning on that, but not in Spartan Squad Delta. Part 3 continues with the Arcadia series. Um, they're still fighting on Arcadia. Humans, the elites, they're going after, if you didn't realize from Part 2, Kamad says that they're going after a sacred rock that the prophets want. The humans realize that this is probably what the elites are after, and what the Covenant are after. So they put it on lockdown, and they have one of the Spartans defend it. And the awesome city type of thing you saw at the map you saw at the end of part 2, that's gonna be a major battleground in part 3. And really looking forward to battling on that map, because it's it's a fun map to play on. I designed it myself using tips and all that and tutorials from the Halo Forge Epidemic. They're really awesome guys. You should check out their channels if you're a forger. Um, yeah, they do some really awesome. Getting back on topic, sorry. Um, I'm gonna pause this real quick. Okay, so like I was saying, getting back on topic here. Um, so there's gonna be a lot of fighting on. It's a good map to fight on. We played it in game night 1. If you noticed, that was the same map as in the end of Spartan's Red Delta Part 2. So it's a pretty good. I've designed it for invasion, so it's gonna be pretty fun to fight to play on. It's all designed around the central island area. The story gets more in depth. The Arbiter comes in, not the Arbiter we all know from Halo 2 and Halo 3. It's a different Arbiter. It's not the same Arbiter as Halo Wars either. This is after. I believe this is no. This would be. It's either before him or after him. I'm not really good with dates, but it's not the same. It's not an Arbiter we know. So the Arbiter we know from Halo 2 and 3, that is the Shipmaster Thelvatum, in case any of you don't know his real name. He is the Shipmaster on board the ship Kamad will enter, the Arbiter talked with at the very after credit scene of part 2. So yeah, we're bringing Halo 2, the actual Halo series characters into the machinima. It also continues the side story, which is 5 years before Final War: The Elite War happens, with the story between the so-called insurrectionists and the UNSC, with Generals at 275 Joe and Steven, that we saw at the very end of Part 2. That story continues, and I'm actually bringing in parts from the Halo Glasslands and Halo Thursday War books. I'm actually using ideas from there on what these so-called insurrectionists are doing, and it's pretty interesting, honestly. And I've even brought in there's actually another side story with Dr. Halsey in there, and we're working a lot more on AIs, like not like putting AIs into the film. So that way we get like the if you read the books, you know about the AI Halsey's AI Deja. That's a new character we just put in here. All right. So now done Spartan Squad Delta, done Final War: The Elite War. Moving on to upcoming projects that we're working on. First one, The Hunted. It's a spin-off of Predator. Not really a spin-off. It's a video I thought of based off of Predator. Um, Basically, this base up in Alaska, it goes quiet for a week. Let me restart. The story takes place in a time period where Russia and the United States have a falling out in relations, and they kind of like a second Cold War. And all of a sudden, a base in Alaska goes quiet, like no communication at all. So U.S. thinks it was a Russian attack and all that. So they sent their best team up there to investigate. and they end up running into this creature thing that ends up hunting them while trying to find its sacred artifact. So I'm not. That's all I'm really gonna say about the Hunted, because I don't want to give anything away before it comes out. Because I've been working really hard on this. Just like I wrote the script up a year ago, and then waited because I was like, oh, I really want to do this in Halo Reach or Halo 3. I was like, I can do both because the armors are similar. And then like Halo 4 was announced, and I was just like, you know what? This is gonna wait, and I'm gonna put in Halo 4. So like November came, I looked at the multiplayer maps and all that, and I re-scripted it, changed it, made it better to fit the maps and all that. And then I sent it out to my actors, and I started some filming. I started right away on some filming, just got some done. But I was really disappointed because I wanted the Falcons inside the video, but Halo 4 doesn't have any UNSC air vehicles. So I was like, what the hell? What do I do now? So, well, using Sony Vegas Pro 11, I found a way around that. Not to say any more about that. But, like I said, this has been in progress since November, the filming part anyway. Alright. Oh, God. This is going to be long. Moving on to the next one. We just brought in Patrick Walton with upper echelon PSAs, even though he's only doing one PSA. Um, he's writing some comedy stuff for us. So it's called, I believe what we're trying to name it is going to be end up being Evil Co. versus Good Co. I don't really have much to talk about with this one because we just thought of this like literally on Friday, as in the 19th of April, 2013, for people who don't know what year it is. Yeah, so basically, we were just sitting there in pre-calc class, and we were talking about his PSA, How Not to Get Cake. I don't know what's up with that name, but I really haven't seen anything of his scripts yet because he's still writing them. Anyway, we were talking about that one, and then he went on to say, you know what, I'm going to do a mini-series based off of the same characters from this PSA, and then we just started talking, and we just started spitting out random ideas that were funny to us. Anyway, I don't know if I'm hoping it's funny to other people. Otherwise, that would just be terrible. So we just kept spitting out ideas, and they just kept progressively piling on top of each other until we got like this idea for a mini series. And it's pretty funny. We based most of it. Well, we based some ideas off of the Twitch commercials, if you've seen them, like the left factory, right factory, and we came up with Evil Co, Good Co, and they fight each other, but Evil Team is stupid, and their boss gets pissed at them, whereas Good Co, their guys are like badass sniper people, but they but like whenever people die, they just seem to come back for no apparent reason. We haven't really worked out why, but we're gonna do that anyway. But yeah, if it's executed properly, if we can execute it the right way, it's gonna be great. All right, so that's all I'm gonna say about Good Co versus Evil Co, or Evil Co versus Good Co. I believe that's what it's being called anyway. Um, we're also about three of us are co-writing another script we're calling Math Class. At least I believe that is the official name I am going to go with that. It's basically just, it's going to be a collection of random stuff that we've randomly thought of in school. Like, literally, we just sit there and we mess with each other, and it ends up, we're just like, you know what? If we were to put this online and make a machinima out of it, it could be possibly funny if other people share our sense of humor. So that's what we did. It's really not a script. It's more we sit there and we just say shit, and that ends up being part of the machinima. Like, it's just gonna be tiny like bits from what we do in school because we're seniors, so we don't really do much schoolwork. We just kind of mess around and throw shit at each other. So, but a lot of our ideas, like if people share our sense of humor, they will find Evil Co vs Good Co and Math Class. They'll find it really funny. If you don't share a sense of humor, you could still find it funny, but it's all depends on what you find funny. Anyway, that's all I really have to say with that one. That one's still in progress. We have no idea when that's going to finish. Probably when the school year ends, because from now, I don't want to start filming and put it up because something really funny can happen between now and the end of the year in June. So, yeah, that's when. After June, it's better to start seeing filming done for that one. That's what I would say. Alright. What else was there? Oh, right, my big one. Or no, you know what? I'll save the big one for the very end because that's my favorite. Um, Glasslands. That's what I'm going to talk about next. So, any of you out there who've read Halo Glasslands know what this script, what this machinima is going to be about. Basically, I'm taking the book Halo Glasslands, turning it into a machinima. So, I'm not really going to talk much about that because, you know, it's a book. I don't want to give away a book. So if you really want to know what's going to happen in my machinima, read the book, because it's just going to be a visual version of that. And I have checked it out. No one has done this yet. I want to make sure that no one did it because I don't want to do the same thing someone else has done. So that's basically where we're going with that one. It's going to end up going into Halo the Thursday War, which will just be called the Thursday War. And it's going to be a multi-part thing because I don't feel like filming one whole long book into one long movie because that would just that would be a lot. My computer's already slowing up as it is. My hard drive's overflowing. I have to use an external hard drive. But yeah, that's where that's going. Alright, so also with Glasslands, we are looking for voice actors. So if you want to be a voice actor for that, there's a video on our YouTube channel, UWA Prez. You probably know that now because either you're on YouTube watching it or you're on our website watching this, and both have our YouTube channel on it. So there's a video with all the characters and example lines for you to use to audition with for any character you want to play in Glasslands Machinima. So take a look at that, and if you really want to do it, we'd be happy to see your audition because we need voice actors. Also, we need body actors to actually do the battle scenes and all that with. So if you want to do battle scenes with us, that would be great. Like I said, send a message to me, Silence It's Beastly. My Gamertag spelling is in the description. Yeah, body acting is really fun. It's just kind of we show up, we fight, you listen to my instructions, we just kind of fight each other. Turns into Slayer really over after a while. And yeah, as long as it's within the parameters of what I wanted, what I envisioned of it, I really don't care how the battle ends up going. I mean, I mean, it's a battle. Things are gonna go wrong. Um, Alright, so now then, moving on to the last one I'm doing. This one is still being written and has been in writing since June of 2012, I think. Or maybe before that, I don't remember. Probably before that. I think I started writing it in school last year, at the end of the year. We're calling it Resist. Still not sure if that's the official name I'm going with. Um, I'm pretty sure, but I'm not 100% positive on that name. basically, if you've played the video game Homefront, or you've watched Red Dawn or Olympus Has Fallen, um, it's basically something like that. It's basically America gets taken over by from its inside, from the inside its infrastructure, by this group called Phoenix. And the whole point was the main two of the main characters were over in Afghanistan finding this terrorist group called Razone, and when they've killed them, when they eliminate the terrorist group, that's when Phoenix takes over America, and the two soldiers are left in Afghanistan to try to find a way back to America, trying to get through this thing called the defensive grid, which basically, if you don't have the codes, it's just going to blast the hell out of you right out of the sky. You're just falling out of the sky if that happens. So they finally get back, and they link up with some former military, and they end up rallying Americans to fight against Phoenix and take back America. There's also there's a secondary enemy in the film. Not going to talk about that because I don't want to give that away. I just gave away the main plot of the thing. I'm not going to give away the secrets behind everything. So, yeah. There's a secondary enemy that's working with Phoenix. Not going to say who or what that secondary enemy is because that's a surprise for all of you, for me to know, and for you to try to figure out, and wait and see when the video comes out. Like I said, this one is our big one. It's going to be, I'm aiming for a 2.5-hour video with this one. It's going to be like a full-length movie. I'm incorporating ideas from, like I said, from Homefront with the Voice of Freedom and some other stuff. Red Dawn with basically the takeover. Well, you know, both of them will take over. Both of them are North Korea too. It's weird. So is Olympus Has Fallen. Oh yeah, I probably should have said spoiler in case you guys haven't seen this. Anyway, yeah, interesting. Anyway, getting back on topic. It's gonna be pretty long, and I'm also incorporating some ideas from Modern Warfare 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, like from the Special Ops, Spec Ops missions. Some ideas from that's gonna be in there too. I believe that is all of our future plans that we know of so far. Oh yes, no, actually, there's one more thing. We may have there's two other things that we could possibly have. I was talking with some people. They said they might possibly want to do this. A Modern Warfare 3 machinima. Honestly, can't tell you much about that. Like I said, it's a possibility. Joe Paradiso was talking to me about it, and he said we should do it. I told him, if you can write it, I will direct and film it and edit it. Because I don't have the time to write up another one or think of another idea. Although I could give him an idea. I do have an idea for one. I could give it to him, and he could write it up. But that's a possibility. The other one is in some type of AI film in Halo. Me and my friend Kyle Spiris, we were talking about it. But he said he was writing something up, but I haven't heard much about it, so I can't tell you what's going on with those two yet. Maybe if nothing's uploaded by that April 20th, you'll probably hear about it. If anything's happening with it, you'll hear about it next year in our 5-year video. So that's all we got to talk about. That's all we have for our 4-year future plans. This has been TJ White. signing off.